Alright, before we get started with today's episode, I just want to let you all know that I'm going to be doing some reviews of movies based on haunted attractions throughout the month of October. They're going to be the Saturday episodes all month long, and you'll know if you're watching one if you see this little pumpkin guy here up in the corner during the intro. On with the show! Greetings friends, and welcome back to the 3-Minute Horror Show. My name is Ben, your host, and I love horror movies. In fact, I watch the bad movies so that you don't have to. You're welcome. Today I'll be reviewing the movie HauntedWeen from 1991. Believe it or not, this movie is not about a penis tormented by the undead. Nope, it's about a guy who kills people inside a haunted house attraction. Whoa! This movie was a passion project by a fellow named Doug Robertson. He wrote, directed, edited, and acted in it. It's the only movie he ever worked on. One and done. He had enough, I guess. Yep. After the credits roll, a little scene comes up and teases that HauntedWeen 2 will be coming soon. But alas, Doug Robertson passed away in 2020, so it will never come to be. Nope. Rest in peace, Ween Man. HauntedWeen is streaming here in Canada on Tubi. We might as well get started. These haunts aren't gonna wean themselves. Some dumbass kid named Eddie is too young to work at his family haunted house, so he's posted out front in a mask. Everyone who passes by, teens, adults, a cop, everyone makes fun of this kid's mask. Eddie is weird, and he sneaks his way into the house and tries to scare a young girl. Eddie accidentally kills the girl, and then adds insult to injury by hacking her into bits after her tragic death. He runs away, and he and his grandmother go into hiding. Now, 20 years later, Eddie's grandmother has a heart attack and dies. And this is what the FBI profile units call a stressor. This movie is a great example of what they refer to as regional horror. These are low-budget indie horror movies that are filmed using a local cast and crew, and they usually center around occurrences within the specific area. HauntedWeen was filmed in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and the cast was mostly recruited from the local university. These types of movies have become less prevalent over the years, but they can still be seen today. You could consider Mark Polonius' films regional horror, as he tends to use casts and sets assembled from the Pennsylvania area that he's from in most of his movies. Another example of modern regional horror are Brandon Reinis' films, such as the Grotesque and I'm Haunted series. His casts are largely assembled of performers from the Edmonton area, and his stories tend to take place there too. A local fraternity is in the financial shits, and at a big party they decide that they're going to do a haunted house to raise funds to save their organization. These guys look like a grab bag of 80s douchebags, and one of them is like 40. After an afternoon of hijinks, the head of the fraternity goes for a drive with his sweetheart, and they find the site of the haunted house where Eddie killed the young girl all those years ago. He decides that this is going to be the spot where they run their haunted house fundraiser to save the frat. One problem he doesn't realize: messed up adult Eddie, who still loves wearing monster masks, is already squatting at the place. They celebrate their new arrangement with a live performance by some early wave alt-rock proto-grunge band, and they forget to tell the extras in the crowd not to look directly at the camera. Eddie follows them home, disguises himself as a normal guy, and gives the boys the keys to the old haunted house.
What a coinky-dink!
History lessons with Ben. One of the world's oldest haunt attractions is the Orton and Spooner Ghost House in England. It was built in 1915 and it utilized steam power to deliver its scares. It was roughly the size of a train car, and it consisted mainly of sound effects, rocking floors, and vibrating walls, but it was done in complete darkness. It was fully restored in 2017, and you can go see it today in Liphook, England. It's now called the Haunted Cottage. So the frat boys and their girlfriends pile into vehicles and go set up their haunted house. There's a musical montage set to an original song about setting up a haunted house. Then, at night, Monster Eddie starts stalking the group. Naturally, he kills the Skinny Dippers first. It's haunted house night, and the place is open to the public. It's not very scary, and Eddie kidnaps the staff members one person at a time, depositing them in what's called the kill room. Then he kills them in front of an audience rabid for carnage, and naturally this all looks real because it is. He's very theatrical about the whole thing, and I thought this part was very clever. Eventually, Eddie is found out, and he tries to make an escape. Luckily, this guy Hanks has a flamethrower. There's even a car chase thrown in here just for fun. The character named Hanks was one of the most irritating characters that I've ever seen on screen. And since most of the cast was sourced from the local university, and this guy's name was Brad Hanks, and it's the only thing that he's ever been in, he was probably just playing himself. Honestly, this movie was silly, but it could have been a lot worse. It's late 80s cheese, but it's clever enough to be worth a look. There was no ween, but I rate HauntedWeen a 6 out of 10. As always, the link to my Letterboxd appears in the video's description. Please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does boost my engagement and helps my channel grow. Smell you later, nerds!
Here you go, Eddie.
Keep the change and buy yourself a new mask.